Hello, thank you for joining me for a What Sold video. I had decided at the beginning of the year that I was going to do a What Sold video, despite its lack of popularity, but this isn't a popularity contest. I decided I would do it once a month, and then I didn't do one for March, which isn't because I don't follow through on what I say I'm going to do. It's just because March was not worth having a What Sold video. Besides the fact that it was very slow, I did take 2 work trips during March, so my closet was closed and my Mercari, and then there was only 6 days between the 2 trips, so I don't normally list within a few days of closing up because I don't want to waste all those fresh listings and, you know, have some nice fresh listings and then they don't come up because they're on vacation. So I have decided to do just a sprinkling of sales from March and April in one video. I was also shut down for a week in April, and I picked right up when I opened. My trip is Monday to Monday, so I opened my closet Saturday morning before coming home, and I made a sale almost within 10 minutes of reopening, and made 4 sales that day. So I'm like, woo, yay, April. And then it kind of petered off. So April wasn't great. But here's a sprinkling of sales I'm going to share with you. I always start with the first sale of the month, and I always do the last sale of the month. So the first sale of March wasn't until March 6th, which makes sense because my closet was closed. And it's this adorable St. John's jacket with paw prints. I really expected this to sell higher, but the comps were not amazing. It ended up selling for $40. It wasn't my size, or I'd be tempted to have worn it. I think it was a little big for me. Then on March 8th, I sold this Resistol men's shirt on Mercari. I've made, I don't know, maybe 5 sales on Mercari in the last couple of months. Not much. I don't think it helped that their shipping went up, but particularly for over £1, where it was $7.99 and now it's $9.50. So it was competitive with Poshmark, and now it is not. That I think really hurt. So I had gone to Pahrump when I had a friend in town. I do love to pick up Western wear, especially vintage, and I picked this up at a thrift store in Pahrump, and it sold for $28. I believe I got an offer and I took it, though I don't know. I maybe should have waited a little longer because I do think it was pretty special. I don't think this was something you could just buy in the store the way it was. And then on the 9th on Poshmark, I sold these Rocky Mountain jeans, which I also picked up in Pahrump. And they were at a Goodwill, and they were the half price color. I always list these things high. I have a lot of vintage jeans in my closet right now. Oops. And they're high. The problem is they're all very small sizes. The ones in my closet are consignment pieces, so they're all like size 1, I think. Anyway, this I listed at $75, and they sold pretty quickly, full price. So very happy with that. This is a pair of vintage shoes. I love to pick up vintage. I really don't know what sells and what doesn't. So if it speaks to me, I buy it. The brand was Manor Born. I seem to recall it was from a department store or something, maybe? I don't know. If there's more information, I'll look it up and put it here. But they sold for $24, and I was good with that. I've had them for a while, but not, you know, years. On the 27th, I sold this Calvin Klein denim coat. I don't mind sourcing Calvin Klein. I know Calvin Klein is not a bolo, but I have had decent luck with Calvin Klein. Not everything. It's not like I have 100% sell-through rate, but it sells okay for a decent price. So for a couple of bucks, I will pick it up if I really like it. And this one sold for $40, so very happy with that. On March 29th, I sold this black Sharif bag for $35. When I picked up this bag, I also picked up one in bronze. No, copper. Copper, I would say. And that one sold pretty quickly, I think for $50. But this one sat, and I relisted a few times, and it surprised me. I would have thought the black would sell, but maybe, you know, the more unusual colors. and I lowered the price. So I ended up selling it for $35, which was still a decent profit. I have 2 more bags in this exact style in my closet, and they're listed as a lot. They're very pastel. I think there is a pink and a blue, and I picked them up at a yard sale, and only one of them is in excellent condition, and one of them shows a lot of wear. And the only reason why I picked that one up is it was kind of one of those deals where it was like $5 for 1 or 3 for 10 or something like that. And I am a sucker for that. So I listed them together because the one that shows a lot of wear is not worth listing on its own, but it has a, it's very usable. And if somebody likes that, so they're basically getting the really good one, and then this one would be free with purchase. I mean, if somebody said, hey, I just want the good one and will you sell it to me for $40, I would probably do it. But I decided to list it this way. Why not? See what happens. My last sale of the month is this Rutgers windbreaker, which I have had for a long time. I think that for me, college clothing hasn't been a big success. I have, I think, a Texas A&M sweatshirt that's been sitting forever. I thought it might do well because people love to wear their schools, and I would imagine this stuff is pretty expensive in the actual school gift shop. But now that's been sitting, and then this sat for a long time, so I was happy to sell it for $25. That was my last sale of March. My first sale of April was these rock and roll cowgirl jeans. Now, on the same week that my friend was in town, we went to this store called Cal Ranch, which is a big, like, ranchy store with, stuff like feed and there's some interesting foods, and there's Western wear, that kind of store. And we wandered around the clothes because it's been a long time since I really shopped in a new store for Western wear, and I didn't know what the new brands were or the styles. And I saw Rock and Roll Cowgirl as one of the new brands. Well, the next day when we went to the bins, or I don't know if it was the next day or the day after, I found a pair. So I picked it up, of course, and they sold pretty quickly for $34. So that was a good, I need to remember that to just, I don't generally go into retail stores. I hate retail, but maybe it's not a horrible idea, at least in something like this, to learn new things. We went to a few stores that sold Western wear. On April 5th, I sold this bag. I don't find a lot of bags at the bins, but I have found some interesting pieces that are not the obvious brands that everybody knows, which is why I think they end up sitting there. But you can tell they're good. This was one of them. It's called Will Leather Goods. Even the name suggested it. It was kind of a messenger bag, maybe laptop bag, but not padded or anything. And this sold for $44, and it didn't sell super fast, but it didn't take very long. This next item also sold on the 5th, and I'm sharing this as maybe a possible tip. They're L'Artiste by Spring Step, and they sold for $22. So I had gone to Savers. I don't generally source at Savers because it's way overpriced. It's 50% off on Mondays and still at 50% off overpriced. But my friend was in town. I wasn't working that Monday, so we went. I picked these up, and while I'm waiting in line, I'm looking at them. Like, I noticed there's a bit of a flaw on the ends where the toe is. Not anything that means you couldn't sell it, but even at 50% off, it was too much with that damage because, I sold them for $22. So I couldn't sell them super high. Not that they were super high, brand anyway. I just thought they were interesting. So when I go up to pay, I said, I decided not to take these. These are I just noticed some damage. She said, oh, well, what if I give you a better price? And she offered me a much lower price. I was like, oh, for that price, sure. Because it was sellable. But I just knew I wasn't going to make enough to pay the normal price. So a lot of times when I'm at Savers, I say a lot of times, I'm not even there that often, but I have often seen things that were interesting, but they were flawed, and for the overpriced tag on them, I wasn't going to buy them. So in the future, if there's something that I would like, I just want it to be less because of the flaw. I don't think I would just go up and go, hey, can you do any better? I would just take them up there, and then when I get there, say, oh, I decided against these because there's a flaw, and then hope that they say, oh, well, I'll give you a better price. So you could ask. You could say, hey, these have this. Is there, can I get a lower price on this? But I don't know if I would do that. Okay, April 15th, these boots. I don't really know how you say this. It's M-O space S, or it's M-O period S. I don't even know. I found them at the bins. Look at the style. Such a great style. Nice leather. You can tell they're quality boots. So this is the story. I list these at $100. And on Closet Clear Out, I sent messages to Lycra saying I would reduce the price to $75 with reduced shipping. I usually do 20%, but on a higher item, I might do more. And so I decided to do that. So someone says, yes, I will take them. I lower the price. She doesn't buy them. It happens from time to time. It's just business. I don't let it really bother me, but I relist it. I don't just raise the price again. I relist it. So I took it down and prepared to relist it, but I didn't actually release it because I was closing, that was a Friday, and I was closing my closet on Sunday to go away for a week. So like the next day, no, maybe it was Sunday. At some point she messages me and says, oh, did these sell? Something came up. I don't remember what it was. She had some excuse, she said, and couldn't buy it, and couldn't get to her computer. Some nonsense like that. And I said, well, no, they didn't sell, but I have to relist them and I'm going out of town, so I'm not going to be relisting them for another week. And just because I don't know why, I said, but if I relist them, like them, and if they're available on the next Closet Clear Out day, which would be the following Sunday, then we could try again. So I relist them Saturday morning, and I quickly got an offer from someone else for $72, and I countered at $82. And then this woman puts a message on the new listing saying, I hope you can still honor the $75 that you offered to me with reduced shipping. So I deleted that comment because I don't need everybody to see that. I certainly don't need the woman or the person who sent me the $72 offer that I countered at $82 to see that. And then I messaged her in the bundle and said, well, if they're still available tomorrow, yes, we can do that. But I had an offer and I countered, so I don't know if they're going to accept my counter, but they did. So they sold for $82 and I was very happy with that. That's a long story to say that I sold a pair of boots for $82. On April 18th, I sold this Stan Herman robe. Was it a robe or house dress for $35? I went to the bins one time. This one time at the bins, there were a ton of Stan Herman robes. So I ended up buying, I think, 5 of them. And I bought a 6th since. And in fact, I saw a video of another local reseller, and she picked up Stan Herman at the bins. And I've sold, of the 6 that I had listed, I've sold 4 of them. This one sold for $35. I think they've gone as high as $50. Hard to say what makes the ones sell, and the ones not sell. So it's not 100% sell-through rate, but I've certainly made money on Stan Herman. But I'm being picky. If you saw my last yard sale, an estate sale video, which was 2 videos ago. Oh, I don't even know because I don't know when I'm releasing this. I had picked up this really nice Stan Herman, like seersucker dress, but they had a couple of other Stan Herman things that I didn't take. So it's all going to be dependent on if I love the style. But if you see Stan Herman, it's worth considering, I think. Okay, this is remarkable. On April 19th, I sold this mage dress on Vestiaire. Now, I've never sold anything on Vestiaire. I'm only on Vestiaire because I had a few things on Tradesy and it got moved over to Vestiaire. I never looked to see how Vestiaire works. I didn't know anything. Nothing was going on, and I was thinking I'm just going to ignore it and I'm not going to list anything else. And then all of a sudden it sold for $70. So I print up the label, I ship it off. I have no idea how my listing is, and I couldn't seem to figure out how to look it up. I didn't know if the $70 and then the shipping was coming from my end of it. I just didn't know. Terrible reseller. No idea what I'm doing on this platform, which is, not really good, but it just kind of got absorbed. I didn't choose to go to Vestiaire. So about at least a week later, I get an email from them saying, that it's been authenticated and approved, and now they're going to be sending it to the customer. So I didn't even realize that it goes to Vestiaire to get approved, but I kind of like that. I wonder how the buyers feel, because it must take them 2 weeks to get their items. And I, again, still don't know how much I'm getting paid until I get the email saying we've deposited money into your PayPal account, or however it says it. It was PayPal. And I got $67. So I can't figure out how that is. And I should go on to Vestiaire and learn how it actually works. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't, because I'm lazy and busy. But yeah, I sold it for $70 and I got $67. How are they making any money? I don't get it. Maybe the buyers, I don't know. I don't know. All I know is I had it on Poshmark, I had it on Mercari, and it wasn't moving. And then a miracle happened on April 20th. This is crazy. This has never happened. Somebody put 2 items into a bundle and then they purchased it full price. I'm without speech. Anyway, it is this shirt for $20. It's the Foundry that's been in my closet for a year or more. And then these Joe's jeans for $50. Now they were new with all the tags still in the bag they came from in the store. They were like $185 new, something like that. Crazy. And they were burgundy. So sold for $50. I have found that my men's stuff has picked up a bit. At one point I counted my last 30 sales, and 12, this was like a week or two ago, so they're probably still close. Out of 30 sales, 12 of them were men's. So if you're not selling men's, I mean, if you just don't enjoy men's, then that's fine. But I think you're missing out. They'll sell for, a reasonable amount. It's not like kids' items. And they're out there shopping. Okay, on the 23rd, I had, during the times that I was on my other trips where I couldn't source and I was itching to source, I started spending a lot of time on Goodwill and Salvation Army auctions online, ostensibly for research. And I did learn a lot. I've learned a lot of new brands. It was very interesting. But eventually I just started bidding on things because, window shopping is not that easy. And I did a video of the first batch of things that I got. There will be another one. I have 6 items since then that need to be shared. And I'm out of town now, so there might be more, except on this trip I can source, so maybe I won't feel the need to hang out, online. But there are still a lot of downtime where I'm just sitting around and bored, and I will look. Anyway, this bag is a Patricia Field handbag. Patricia Field, I assume it's the same one. Patricia Field was the costume designer for Sex and the City, but she was a designer before that, and this bag had its 15 minutes of fame when it appeared in the movie The Devil Wears Prada. I listed it at $75, and it sold within a day, full price. So far, the whole shopping, you be very, very, very careful if you start shopping in there, because you can, especially on Goodwill, end up spending so much more than you should have or thought you were. And I do mention the differences between the Salvation Army and the Goodwill in my last haul video. And we'll mention it again when I do my next one. And then the last sale of the day, very excited, of the month on April 30th, is this Jamie or Jaime custom shirt. So the story here is, there was this famous clothing designer. He went by Nudie. He had a shop on Lankershim in North Hollywood called Nudies, and he did all the sort of rhinestone cowboy type things, all custom. And then I guess he had 2 apprentices, as I recall. It's been a while since I researched this. And when he died, the one apprentice decided to move to another state, but Jamie wanted to stay. I think he's still in the same place on Lankershim, not 100% sure. Haven't seen it in a while. So this was a custom-made shirt. It is a consignment piece. I had it listed at $300, but it has been listed for a while. I had one guy that was interested in it, but he just couldn't get to the price. He tried, but he couldn't get to a price where I was happy. Anyway, I sent an offer for $240 with reduced shipping. They countered at $200, and I decided to take it. if you look on the website, there's a long list of the famous people that Jamie has made things for, and I couldn't say in the listing, and I'm not going to say now, but this shirt did belong to one of those people. So that is it. It's a good thing I'm only part-time. I certainly don't make enough sales. I mean, business has been pretty slow, but I'm not stressing about it because it is part-time. I love doing it. And it's just going to have its highs and its lows, and it's constantly evolving, and it's still good extra money for me, and it enables me to thrift shop because otherwise I couldn't, because I just don't need anything for myself. Thank you if you stayed all the way through. Thank you for joining me. I hope you will watch some of my other videos, mostly haul videos, which is, I think, what most people prefer, but not everybody. But there's stuff to be learned from watching What Sold videos, so I do try to watch them. Okay, say hi in the comment section. You can hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope to see you very soon.